G'day guys, my name is Jaden. Welcome back to my channel. I do a trip report like this one every Thursday, so be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button so you won't miss out. I'm at Melbourne Airport Terminal 2. Today I'm flying Qantas flight QF9 from Melbourne to Perth without going onwards to London, so just the domestic leg, which counts as a international flight, so it'll be very interesting. Now without further ado, let's go check in. We're running a little bit late.
A lot of international flights from Australia, including Melbourne Airport, depart in the morning. So Melbourne Terminal 2, the international terminal here, is rather quiet right now. So getting on board Qantas 9 between the Melbourne and Perth leg, you definitely need an ID like always, but it doesn't need to be a passport. And then you go through international security and immigration. So unlike a regular domestic flight, you can't take any container with over 100 milliliters of liquid. At immigration, there's a special lane for those domestic passengers. The immigration officer will look at your boarding pass and then wave you through. So with my Qantas Gold status, I have access to the Qantas International Business Lounge here at Melbourne Airport. That's one benefit of catching QF9 compared to a regular domestic flight to Perth, because you can use the international lounges. If you're One World Emerald, including Qantas Platinum members, you can use the super amazing International First Class Lounge. Anyway, today, unfortunately, I actually didn't use any of the lounges because we got to the airport when check-in for our flight was about to close. And once we cleared through immigration and security, we had to go to the boarding gate right away. But honestly, we're not missing out too much anyway. We'll be served a full meal later, and the Melbourne International Business Lounge is rather inferior compared to the lounges in Perth, Brisbane, London and Singapore.
Hello. Thank you.
Today we're really lucky. We got a 787 in the Qantas 100th anniversary livery. Victor Hotel, Victor, Zulu, November, Juliet.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
Thank you. Beautifully presented, Mr. Wallace.
Thank you.
Welcome on board Qantas 787. My seat today is 12K, the last row in the mini cabin, just in front of premium economy. So this business cabin is smaller than the one in front, so it's more cozy and private.
Thank you. Enjoy, welcome.
The crew just came to introduce himself and asked what I would like for welcome drink, and I went for a glass of champagne. In business class, you need to fasten your shoulder belt for takeoff and landing.
And along with Nathaniel, your customer service supervisor, and the crew will be looking after you. We'd like to welcome back our Qantas and One World frequent flyers. Lovely to have you with us again.
So it seems to have been quite congested today. Our aircraft was at a standoff mode. And with traffic control to be able to move it around the ground here and get it over to the terminal. That's the first part. The second part now is just getting all the baggage and cargo loaded below the wing there. It's too hard to give you an idea of the delay, but I'm going to give you about 10 minutes at this stage before we can depart the terminal. 3 hours 20 minutes is the flying stage. 5:45 local time for arrival in Perth. The time over there now is 1:36. Looking towards a fine afternoon for our arrival. And en route today, nice smooth flying conditions are forecast. And I expect fairly early on in the climb we'll be able to turn the seatbelt sign off, and that will enable the cabin service to begin. And at that point you are free to move around the cabin if required. Just a reminder that whenever you are seated, always have your seatbelts fastened.
Your flight with Qantas calling 787-300. Smooth function on this one, you know.
Appropriate to your seat. If you can reach the seat in front, great.
Our flight is slightly delayed due to air traffic control, and I appreciate how the captain is updating us about it. So during the delay, you can start watching your TV with your noise cancelling headphone. I'm now going to show the TV content. You can set up reminders for you to drink water and stretch your body. Because the second flight to London is really long, it's going to take 3/4 of your day. And you'll need a hell lot of water and exercise whenever possible. I'm at the new movie page. Some of the new movies include Top Gun and Doctor Strange. A menu is placed on your seat before you board the plane. For those who fly with Qantas all the time, you'll notice this is the international style menu. So this implies the in-flight service will feel a bit more international. By that I mean food will be served course by course, not everything on a tray. This is one thing unique about QF9 and 10 between Melbourne and Perth, because after all, it is an international flight to London.
A bit of a wait at the terminal there. Could you please make sure your seatbelt has been properly fastened and that your seat back is fully upright. All passengers must now, of course, return to their seats. Thank you.
Now that we've taken off, I'll quickly show you the seat features at my seat 12K. So we've got a large touchscreen TV, and here's a coat hook, not very obvious. This is a literature pocket where they put the in-flight magazine and safety card. You get plenty of legroom, and there's a ottoman right underneath the TV. The seat at 12K is directly next to the window, and the table is on the aisle side. You can store smaller belongings above the table. There's a hook for your headphone and a water bottle holder. Additionally, there's a reading light, headphone jack, USB port, and a universal power socket. Here's the buttons for your seat control. The table is big enough for nibbles and drinks. Here's a cover for your TV remote, and there's also a mirror. When you lie down completely, the TV remote is particularly useful because the TV is too far to reach. And finally, your tray table. It's hiding underneath another table. Because the table comes out from the aisle side, you're actually stuck here during the meal service. I'm now going to recline my seat a little bit to get comfortable and wait for the meal service. And by the way, you can actually recline your seat to a certain angle for takeoff and landing. The cabin crew is now coming to everyone to take meal orders. And while hot food is getting prepared, they're starting with a cocktail service. To begin everything with, I'm going to have a glass of Sauvignon Blanc from the Adelaide Hills. Your cocktail service comes with almonds. I'm watching a TV show called The Flight Attendant. It's got BA Club World, but in the show, it's a US carrier flying to Bangkok. The flight attendant from The Flight Attendant is having a lot of trouble in Bangkok. Our cabin crew on Qantas has started serving food. Everybody gets a bowl of salad, a drink of choice, and bread, and I went for garlic bread. For starter, you can choose between a green papaya salad or a corn soup. I went for the soup. It's a rather big bowl of soup for starter, and it's really colourful. Let's give it a try. So the topping is chipotle cream and tomato salsa. The combination is just amazing. For the main, you're spoiled by 4 choices. There's a vegetarian pie, chicken salad, pork and beef meatballs, and I chose this braised lamb shank, and I didn't regret my choice at all. It was amazing. And finally, it's dessert time. You have a selection of cheese or an ice cream sandwich. I went for the ice cream obviously. I've actually never tried or even heard of ice cream sandwich before, so I'm excited. And oh my god, it was amazing. For my next grocery shopping, I went to Woolies to buy boxes of ice cream sandwich.
Hello there, welcome to Qantas 787-9 business class lavatory. It's very nice here, relatively sizable. When you sit down, you have a good amount of leg room. We have 2 cookbooks. There aren't anything stocked here, so I guess, and I guess on the long flight to London, they will maybe have lotion, perfume, whatever.
So I just got back to my seat, put my seat in a fully reclined position, so a flat position, and this is how it looks like from the top. We've still got about an hour and a half until we land, so I'm going to take a nap now. So you can see that I've got some feet space, not a lot, but quite adequate. The same goes for my shoulder room.
Please ensure your seat back is upright with your seatbelt or sash belt firmly fastened. Tray tables, footrests, bassinets and entertainment screens must now be stowed.
We've now started our descent into Perth Airport. So let's quickly conclude this trip report with Qantas right here, right now. Our journey today starts at the Melbourne International Terminal. In terms of your airport experience, flying QF9 Melbourne to Perth is like flying on any international flight, but you can't buy duty free. You will have access to the international lounges if you're eligible. Once on board, we received a warm welcome from our cabin crew, and a welcome drink was served right away. And that's something you already don't get on a regular domestic flight. The whole experience was really international, like there was a cocktail service, and food was served course by course, so we got the starter first and then followed by main and dessert. So in terms of soft products, flying Melbourne to Perth on QF9 is far superior than a regular domestic service. QF9 and 10 isn't the only international flight within Australia. You can sometimes find Sydney to Perth on Qantas and within the East Coast with Jetstar. I personally prefer those flights over a regular domestic service because of all the reasons I've given before, but there are some certain drawbacks including time. Check-in for international flights usually close earlier. In addition to international standard security, you have to go through immigration, both at your departure and landing points. And now I'm going to talk about my seat 12K. The bed was comfortable, long and wide enough for me. Storage wise, you've got your overhead locker, the table next to you, and a little storage space above it. You can also use your ottoman to place your handbag, but there's no specific compartment for your bags. However, that's not the case for every seat on board. Some business class seats have a storage compartment right underneath the table. Now for your airfare, flying between Perth and the East Coast is always expensive, and this is no exception. A slightly good news is that they don't charge extra for QF9 and 10. Qantas Melbourne to Perth in business class starts from $1,725. If you choose a regular domestic flight, you can choose the A330 with similar seats here on the 787 or 737 with recliner seats, and they charge all for the same price. So that's it for the conclusion today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and share, and most importantly, please subscribe if you haven't done so. Each and every of your action will help the growth of my channel and motivate me to do more videos like this one. Now please enjoy the approach and landing, and I'll see you later in the Q&A. Bye.
To Perth. Qantas would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the airport's land, the Whadjuk people. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. The local time here in Perth has just gone 5:45 and it's Wednesday evening, the 7th of September. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. As always, smoking, vaping and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted while disembarking or throughout the terminal. Please take care when opening the overhead lockers, as bags may have moved and could fall out. And before leaving, make sure you check your seat and seat pocket for any personal items. Please be sure not to leave anything behind on the plane. Please continue to wear a face mask as you exit the aircraft and take all masks or wipes with you. If you can reach your phone, you can now turn off flight mode. Don't forget, if you're travelling on the domestic sector today, just between Melbourne and Perth, you'll have an orange sticker on your boarding pass. Please have this in your hand, ready to display to officials at the Immigration and Customs barrier. On behalf of all of us here at Qantas, thank you for choosing to fly with us. We wish you a very pleasant onward flight. If you're visiting Perth, we hope you enjoy your stay, and of course to those returning, welcome home.
Let's go. That was good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Duncan's doing all the always. Thank you. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Hello there, welcome back to another Q&A. Today I'm going to answer 5 questions. Let's kick off with number 1. Where was your first flight? My first flight was to London Heathrow from Hong Kong in 2001 with Virgin Atlantic. How long do you spend between each flight? So between each flight, depends where I am. If it's like a new place, I try to stay like a week. For example, Bali was about a week. I went to Matera for 3 nights. It also depends on, for example, how many days I've got arranged or allocated for that continent. So I might be going to Europe for
20 days. And then within that 20 days, I could be taking flights or trains and traveling around really. So it really, really depends. When you travel domestically, do you spend more time as it's a transit before your international flight or as a holiday? During COVID, when I traveled domestically, it's a holiday within Australia. Now it's about 50-50. 50% of the time I fly domestic because I'm connecting onwards overseas, and the other half I'm actually just going to Sydney for fun or Perth for fun. What's your favourite airline? My favourite airline would be Qantas, Cathay, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Australia, Malaysian, BA, all for different reasons really. They're just my favourite really. And your favourite lounge in what country? My favourite lounge would have to be the Wing First Class Lounge in Hong Kong because it's got a bathtub. But I also like the Qantas Hong Kong Lounge, but they've closed down permanently because they've got amazing food and drinks there. Final question for the day. I'm surprised, so am I, Joshua, that no one has ever asked this. Who takes care of Lily when you travel? So I'm quite lucky. I know quite a few people in Adelaide, and also I've got housemates here. So I live in a 4-bedroom house. 1 room for me, 1 room for my Vietnamese friend, 1 room for my Thai friend, and this 1 room for my other Hong Kong friend who actually happens to be moving in today. That room was previously vacant for about 3 months. And I don't know, it could be troublesome because that new housemate from Hong Kong, she has a cat. So she previously lives in Sydney. She left her home in Sydney 2 days ago to drive down to Adelaide. So it's like a 48-hour journey. She's going to arrive tonight. It's taking her forever. And this girl is going to have some trouble. She might have a boyfriend. Oh my God. So basically, my housemates would look after them. If I travel with my housemates, then my friends from my nearby suburbs would come look after Lily and feed her. So yeah, so we always have people looking after her. We don't send her to like a cat boarding or whatever. So that's it for the Q&A. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boston. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and your cabin baggage stowed until the seatbelt sign has been turned off.